So what does 2026 really look like? There's no simple answer. I don't have a crystal ball. Of course I don't. Affordability, still difficult. House prices are up. Income has not kept up with that. Hopefully, as price growth slows, income growth will start to close some of that distance. I get it. Everybody wish they were pay more. We wish that corporate America, we wish that everybody was able to pay more right now. But hopefully that will start to get some of the problem taken care of. As people start to move even more than they have had, as we talked about earlier, people have always had to move because they're getting married, because life changes, they're having kids, jobs change. Now we're going to start to see the people that were locked in over mortgage rates start to go, you know what, it is time for me to go, or I just don't care anymore. I want to go live somewhere else. The labor market is definitely going to affect all of that. Does the labor market soften? It might, but in that vein of real estate is hugely local. Our local economy here in the Greater Lafayette area has been strong, and for the moment continues to be strong. For all the controversy of SK Hynix coming to West Lafayette, it is a signal of a strong, healthy economy. We have all of the new companies that have come to town over the last few years, GE Aviation and Saab, Nanshan Aluminum. We have the companies that have been here for longer periods of time, decades upon decades in some cases. We have Caterpillar and Subaru. The manufacturing economy is strong in the Greater Lafayette area. And we have a gem of a research university, Purdue University, that is helping drive some of this. Now, are all of these companies coming just because of Purdue University? No, but it certainly helps. Case Shiller has a fantastic database of home price changes, and when I talk to people about home prices and they talk about how long is it going to be before home prices go down and correct, they have gone down 3 times over the last 40 years. In 1990, about 2.2%. In 2008, this was the big one, about 27%. You'll all remember that one. And 1 month in 2023, they dipped into the negative as the pandemic boom came to a close. Here's Case Shiller's prediction of what home prices are going to do in 2026. We can see those 3 drops. Here we are in the 90s. Here we are in 08, in 22, 23. And here's our forecast. So we can see home values went up to 20% in 2020. They had been hovering around 3 to 5, getting up to about 6-ish% here in the late teens, and then really spiked. But we came back down to earth, and we've been living in that same range. Case Shiller's prediction gives 3 points of reference. Could be 0.5% is their forecast, but statistically it could be a little higher in the around 3 to 4% range. It could drop negative briefly again down into the -2, -3% range. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't say for sure, but the statisticians are able to look at the past data and then assign some probability to the data that is driving these, and then make some best guesses on what's going to be happening in the future. We're talking about 4.6% at the high, 0.5% as the forecast, and -3.6% at the low end. I'm a fairly big believer in medians and averages for most data, so essentially flat, that 0.5%, maybe even a point or two above that, so a little bit of growth. So what we're seeing right now, home prices holding starting to hold steady. We're starting to see mortgage rates drop slowly, oh so slowly. We're starting to see more people having moved, and so that percentage of mortgages that are certainly greater than 2%, but are in that 5 and 6 and 7% range, just bulk percentage of people nationwide that have those mortgage rates is as large as it has been. So people are going to continue to move. The market is going to do what it needs to do. Greater Lafayette is going to continue to perform a very healthy level. Now, we're starting to see some price reductions, but I would argue that the price reductions that we're seeing are not, for the most part, driven by the market. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of the price reductions are being driven by sellers who wanted to try to, from the most positive standpoint, make the market. They wanted to define the price for their home. And the reality is the market defines the price. Most of the price reductions that we're seeing here in the Greater Lafayette area are because of that. Now, are there homes where they're not selling because pricing has come down? Sure. Inevitably, there is probably some other pressure on it. There are local market factors. SK Hynix is starting to be, I think, a pressure point on some homes around the area for sale. There are lots of factors that go into that. So there you go. All right. I have gone on and on long enough. Let's wrap this up. New home sales here in the Greater Lafayette area have really been anemic, and they have been anemic nationwide for the last 2-3 years. If you've watched the channel, if you've watched the show at all, you have seen us jump on the announcements of a number of new build neighborhoods. There is one neighborhood of almost 1,100 homes by one developer coming to West Lafayette that is breaking ground very soon. There are a number of 400 home site neighborhoods in Lafayette and West Lafayette that are breaking ground. This year, there will be permits for several hundred to north of 1,000 homes breaking ground here in Tippecanoe County. We're finally going to see more new homes come for sale, become available. That's going to increase the number of total homes that are available in the market. So we're going to start to see some stability in 2026 is the forecast. We're expecting home prices nationwide to be essentially flat. We'll probably see a little higher appreciation here in the Greater Lafayette area. It's not a crash and it's not a boom. It's just the market dealing with accumulated imbalances over a number of years of factors that have driven us to this point. Most of the analyses when they were written towards the end of the year were expecting to build in mortgage rates of 5.9 to 6.9%. We've already touched that 5.9% rate already. Will that continue on down and just shred all of these analyses that were done? We're gonna find out. For sellers, you really have to price it right. You don't want to get into a situation where you go on the market with an overpriced house and then it goes stale and then people start wondering what's wrong with it. Listen to your realtor. Get your price right on the first time. Go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube. Fill out the form and I'll get back to you and we'll work on it. The correct valuation for your home that you need to sell now before you can move into your next home, whether that's your next home here in the Greater Lafayette area or whether that's your home somewhere else in the country, somewhere a little warmer, maybe in Texas or Florida or California. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss a minute of content that we put out here on the channel.